Yeah, what's up, Doc? And welcome back to the SnoopCast. We hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm your host, Brucesnoop.
Oh, I'm your co-host Ian.
And I'm Cream Man, the third guy.
So, today we're going to be talking about something different because the last two episodes we were talking a little bit more serious, mainly about politics. But we kind of want to mix it up a bit, have some fun with it, because we can't be all serious all the time, so once in a while we gotta
like have fun every now and then. It's only normal.
Yeah. So today we are going to be talking about that new Space Jam movie that just came out. And Space Jam, if you don't know, was a 1996 movie basically starring Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes. It was just, I think it was inspired by like a 1994 like Nike commercial, basically. Am I correct about that?
Could be off by a year or two, but that's essentially the gist.
So this one, it's basically starring LeBron James, also known as the Chi-Com, according to Alex Jones. That's such a good video. But
still not as big as fucking what's his face, John Cena, but
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro, that'd be a great one.
Imagine that. I mean, didn't they make like a couple years back? Wasn't there like a John Cena Fred Flintstone one?
There was a Scooby-Doo John Cena one.
Yeah.
I could have sworn there was also something with like Flintstones.
No, that was like the WWE Flintstones crossover. I don't.
It's so stupid though. Why would they do that?
It's still. Somehow I hadn't seen it, but I heard that movie is still somehow more entertaining than some of the other direct-to-video movies that Warner's done recently. And if weirdly enough, actually, I think they had a Scooby-Doo direct-to-video one that was directed by Maxwell Adams, the creator of Billy and Mandy. Yeah, and then there's the new one. I don't know if it's coming out soon or if it's already out. I don't pay attention really, but they have like that new one that's Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, which has no input from John Dilworth, which is really disappointing too. But anyway, Space Jam 2.
I'm sure everybody in this room has at least watched Space Jam as a kid. We were all super big into Space Jam. Like, hell, you guys are a little bit older than me, but even I just turned 20 now, and I remember watching Space Jam all the time. I even had the VHS of it. This was at a time when VHS was kind of going the way of the dodo, basically. But I still had it.
It was like Space Jam, it was Princess Bride, Space Jam, Princess Bride, and what was the other one? There was another one, I can't think of what it was. But anyways, it was one of those movies that was like, it was safe, because, it wasn't like...
It was like, oh, it's Looney Tunes.
Yeah, oh, it's Looney Tunes, whatever. And it's one of those movies that's like it's a very nostalgia baity, but it's a fun movie. It's a genuinely like fun movie. It's like one of those things you can just like throw on, or if it's on TV, you can just leave it on in the background or whatever.
That what you said about watching it in school, that really reminds me. There was like a story that I think happened in like third grade, I believe. So I alongside with Space Jam, I had the VHS to this. I'm sure you probably know what this is. It's Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue.
Yeah, I saw that in second grade.
It's basically just I think 90s era anti-drug PSA in a movie, I guess. And it's I don't know. And at the beginning it was like a thing by George H.W. Bush, so that kind of tells you how old it is. That at the beginning it's basically just like this really crappy just anti-drug PSA, and I had it on VHS, and I played that all the time. But I think one day, like when recess was rained out, I think I brought it in, and people were so confused. They were like, "Oh, I think I said it wrong. I think I was like, oh, it's a movie about like drugs or something," and they were like, "What? It's a movie promoting drugs? What's wrong with you, Bruce? Why would you bring this in?"
Sad. I remember there used to be a lot of like those like weird things like that. Cause I remember I had the McDonald's cartoon on like VHS. They had a bunch of those.
Isn't one of those lost?
I have one of them somewhere in my house. But it was so... They were so bad, and like the songs were so shitty but I didn't have many VHSs. Like, because when you're like a kid, you have like 4 VHS tapes, so you watch everyone a million times. And it was like Hook was one of them I watched, Digimon 2000, and it was the McDonald's fucking cartoon. And that's what I had.
See, as a kid, for me, like, I would always, like, rent stuff from, like, video chains and stuff, like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster in particular.
You're that kind of old head.
Yeah.
Hollywood Video, damn, bro.
Well, I'll tell you this. The first ways that I got introduced to stuff like Wallace and Gromit was actually because of Hollywood Video. They would have like these old used tapes and everything. Like none of the tapes in the store, unless you wanted to buy them, were new. So you would like pop in a tape, like see what you found interesting, and that's the way that I found something like that. But with actually, I think the first time I watched kind of a spiritual follow-up, but like also a bit of a knock on Space Jam, which was Back in Action, Looney Tunes Back in Action, was because I rented it from Blockbuster. And I saw Back in Action before I saw Space Jam. So when I saw Space Jam come on TV as a kid, I was really confused because it was like, why are the Looney Tunes with Michael Jordan? What does this have to do with anything? Like, I was so lost on the context that I later learned as an adult that the whole movie was basically just an advertisement. But it's a flawed but charming advertisement, really. So, I mean,
yeah,
that's what it boils down to. This follow-up, though, is not an advertisement, and it's not charming either.
What is he even supposed to advertise? LeBron James?
I think that's pretty much what it is.
There's like nothing. I can't tell who it's for or what it's for.
Yeah, that was a question that me and Creeman were asking, because it was like, is this made for kids or is this made for the people who were who remember watching Space Jam? Because it's like, I mean, like, for example, like McDonald's are selling like toys of like Space Jam or whatever of this new movie right now, but it also is like, it's got all these pop culture references to like The Matrix and to Austin Powers. It's like no Generation Alpha kid is gonna know what Austin Powers is.
Well, like The Mask and Rick and Morty too.
Yeah, like they have all of these cameos. You know what really? One of my friends in the call that we watched the movie and like pointed this out to me and said the only cameo characters that have any dialogue are Rick and Morty. And I was just like, oh god, you're right. No, none of the other cameo characters like have dialogue. And
God, it hurts to think about. Me and Creeman basically had that kind of thing, but it was basically like, let's try to spot a white person in the movie.
Also for what you guys were mentioning with like the whole demographic they were going for, I have a theory that it's kind of like the way that they wanted to get people invested in this movie is that this is not a movie for like kids. This is a movie that they wanted to like market to the people who remember the original, because you have all these like clearly adult references to like other things that no kid is going to like understand. Austin Powers, for one thing, I'll tell you this. It's funny because you guys were talking about movies you would see in school. I actually watched Goldmember in middle school. Like, it was part of a cooking...
What the hell?
I don't know how that happened. We were in cooking class, and we popped on Goldmember for one of the last days of school. It's like really, really weird thinking back that happened. But anyway, the demographic for Space Jam, this new one, is just like everything. It's kind of like another Ready Player One kind of scenario where they get like all these IPs together that people from Gen X and Y remember, but no kid properly introduced to like any of this stuff that's, has any cultural relevance is going to know what the hell is going on. And I think that's a huge alienation for like just getting anybody together to watch this movie. Because, like, at least with the original Space Jam, you could argue that, you know, kids love Michael Jordan and then the adults will love the Looney Tunes. Here, it's like nothing really congeals. Nothing is, like, really like, okay, people will recognize, like, okay, kids will recognize this, and then the adults will recognize this. Well, you can argue that the adults will, but then the kids are just going to be so out of it, like, who the heck cares?
Well, the kids even recognize the Looney Tunes anymore.
That's...
I mean, some of them, maybe they'll watch, like, Looney Tunes compilations on YouTube, but, like, they don't, like... I mean, they're busy watching, like, YouTube story times or whatever. It's on YouTube now.
The last, like, Looney Tunes show on TV was a couple years ago, right? Like,
well,
it was quite a while back. It was on the Cartoon Network.
There was like one produced for like Boomerang, but who watches Boomerang anymore?
Well, yeah, like here's the way that it goes. This thing actually drives me nuts about the people. People who love this new movie, or whoever the hell loves this new movie, really, because. Okay, Space Jam fans and Looney Tunes fans are two separate entities. Like, they are two individual groups. Because people that follow, like, Looney Tunes and still, like, get enjoyment out of these characters know that there was a show on Cartoon Network, Looney Tunes show, very Seinfeld-esque for the time being in the early 2010s.
It literally was just like Seinfeld, but with Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on it, but there's some stuff I like about that. Mainly the art direction's really nice. But then they had Wabbit, which turned into New Looney Tunes, which that show is just not really up to snuff. Just nothing about that show works. That's the one that you're thinking of that was produced for Boomerang. And now they also have these new HBO Max shorts, which are called like Looney Tunes cartoons. Generic name aside, they have like good production value to them. I think they're pretty funny, and it just shows that, you know, like, even if you can consider that more of like an adult thing to appeal to that demographic more so than kids, it shows that those characters can still work with like a good crew and team behind them. But Space Jam fans, I saw screen caps of like Twitter accounts and everything like all over the place saying like, man, this new Space Jam, I can't believe the Looney Tunes are back. I'm just like, they've been here this entire time, but you don't pay attention. You only know them for freaking Space Jam. So, you know.
What if they thought that all the Looney Tunes came because of Space Jam?
Yeah. Bro, you know, how many kids are going to be introduced to the Looney Tunes through this movie?
I don't...
Not really. They're kind of just... It's kind of just... The movie is kind of just like, hey, here are the Looney Tunes. How you remember them?
Yeah, but like, if this is their first time... That's what I'm saying. This is like your introduction to it. If you're like 7 years old, you know, you haven't watched any Looney Tunes shit, really.
Mm-hmm. Like the
This is the first... This is the first time you're seeing Bugs Bunny.
That would be depressing.
Yeah, Ian, I know how much you hate Bugs in this movie.
Oh, let me tell you right now, they get Bugs' character so fucking off in this movie. The way that they portray him is like they thought like, oh, Looney Tunes, wacky do anything, he's torturing LeBron James. Like, no, like, the thing that you have to like understand with like Looney Tunes is that you like, if you deal with Bugs Bunny, you're not dealing with Screwy Squirrel. You are not dealing with like, just like, how do I put it? Like bonkers. You are not dealing with fucking bonkers, right? You are dealing with like
clever.
There's like no cleverness to like the way that they write his character in this movie, because all he does is just, like, for no reason, he's not provoked, he's not an everyman, he is not, like, even much of a trickster, he's just a jackass, and he's, like, just the way that he's portrayed throughout the entire thing is so off. It feels as if they wrote for Daffy, and then they had to put Bugs in his place. It's very bizarre, and
It's almost like they switched camera roles, I mean, no, not camera roles, like, character roles, because I mean Daffy's not really that much of a dick.
No, he's just kind of
Daffy's barely in the movie anyways.
Yeah,
he's not even really he's there in like 4 scenes really. It's the he writes on the board, whatever, during the locker
He's
room
in like
scene.
he's like the manager for like the basketball game or something.
Yeah, and then he's in when they actually get him, and like those are the main times he's doing anything. Every other time he's not doing anything.
There's just something seriously off about the characterization for like all of them, really. I mean, Bugs gets it the worst. Lola is just kind of like, she reverts back kind of to the way that she was in the first movie, but even then she's never given much. It's just like, oh yeah, like a character to empower women, and she doesn't really do anything. Like,
She has her boobs cut off.
oh yeah.
What does that say?
Boobs cut off and like slimmed down. Did you ever see? You know what's really funny? Have you ever seen those like not promotional stills, but the production art for the first movie, where they actually they had I don't know like who was drawing that day, but they were clearly feeling something that time. They actually had like under boob for Lola.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they had under boob for her like when she's like dunking a basketball. I'm not kidding.
Holy.
Yeah, they what's even funnier for this new movie, they reused some of that production art for some of the stills, but of course they covered up the underboob. It's not like I care really that much, but it's really funny to know that like even back then, like the artists were totally like horny for her.
I'm looking at it right now. It's actually real. It actually says not accepted by animation.
Yep, that's it.
Whoa, that's wild, bro.
Yeah. Imagine doing that, like, even as a joke for production art now, I think you'd be booted off.
I mean, I guess it was a different time back then.
I mean, it's 25 years ago now, right? 1996?
25 years.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's odd that in so many reboots and like remakes of games and all this, the way that they like prevent, I guess, demeaning, like empowering women and preventing their demeaning, is like cutting off their boobs and like making their asses smaller.
They make them look more
It's
like
like-
men.
So the way that you empower women is to masculinize them. It's like, it's kind of insulting.
It's a bit backwards if you think about it.
Like a reverse, like buck breaking or something.
What's
Buck breaking? That's another good movie.
bucket breaking, bro?
It's kind of like the way that like they want to do it is that there's like this whole conflict between like both sides within the same party, mind you, where you have like the way that they want to empower women is to masculinize them, and then the other way they want to do it is just to like be like this heralding like figure of beauty, and then the other side is like, you can't do that, that's objectifying women. It's just like, bro, we just like the way you look. Like, that's like praiseworthy in and of itself. So it's like, like there's just there's like a true conflict there when it comes to like people in the arts that really want to like portray the other gender, and it's like it's like there's a true conflict. I'm not sure like what the way to go about it is, but that's something I've definitely noticed, especially within the past 5 to 10 years. It's gotten worse.
But hey, let's actually talk about the movie. But if you if you somehow care about spoilers, I don't know what to tell you. We'll probably just be talking about the spoilers this entire time. But
Do you think anybody
Nothing to
actually
spoil.
cares?
There's nothing to spoil. I'll tell you the movie.
Okay, go for it.
The LeBron James's son and him get put in a computer. His son gets kidnapped by a bad guy. Basketball game ensues, and then LeBron James wins in the last second.
yeah,
Yeah.
they almost do that entire shtick. 10 seconds to go from the first movie.
It's literally the same conflict, like at the end of the movie. Like all the tension is the same source of conflict. It's they're way ahead. We need to come back, and halfway through, we'll have a huge change of pace, and then we'll fall behind again, and then we'll get the last point, the last second to save the game. It's like there's nothing new. There's nothing clever. There's nothing fun about it.
So yeah, we frankly don't care if we spoil this movie for you. I mean, you can easily just pirate it,
You can just watch it on HBO Max, or actually, I mean, I would say
You could just watch it on Pirate Bay.
yeah, you know what? That's actually a better that's a better alternative. Dude, the thing that really bothered me, actually, the way that they repeat the same things, but they reverse some of the things from the original movie. Did you notice the messaging towards the Looney Tunes characters is practically the exact opposite as to how it was in the first movie, where it's like Michael Jordan says, "Come on, we gotta get your head in the game. You gotta stop being like Looney Tunes and more like basketball players." Whereas this one, it's like the way that they win the game is by acting like Looney Tunes characters and doing all these gags and shit. You know, like the stuff with Wile and Roadrunner is actually the only one of the only jokes that actually lands. But they win by cheating, and it's like Don Cheadle is like, "Oh, you can't do that. That's cheating." It's just like, what rules are there to the game throughout this entire movie? It makes no sense.
The point system was the worst because early on in the match, you know, or all the way to like the very end, oh, how cool the points are, how cool you are. You get style points until the very end of the movie where it needed to be within 1 point to win. So the style points went away, even though they were like the most complex shots or complex sequences in the movie. No points. LeBron James like using the jump pad and then having another jump pad thrown underneath him to slam dunk in like
2 points.
2 points. Yeah, 2 points, bro.
That was so like weirded out because it was like there was like one scene with the I guess the Goon Squad. You know, they're doing all this elaborate stuff. They're like, I don't know, tying them up and doing all this kind of stuff. You know, people are like jumping on top of each other, and that was only worth like a 3-pointer. Like, how does that work?
It almost would have been better. It almost would have been better if instead of like them scoring points with the game, they only scored at the last second and had such a complex and cool score that it was like they got like 1,000,000 points or something crazy. Like that would have been more interesting than what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a bizarre way that they did it. I guess it's just because it's like a video game. Kids like those video games. Though I don't know anybody who would actually want to play Dom Ball. Is that what it's called? Dom Ball?
Dom Ball, yeah. Dom Ball.
I don't know. The beginning of this movie is, I don't know, it's really stupid. It's just, LeBron is like, "Hey, you need to stop with these distractions." He's like, "No, fuck you, Dad. I want to make video games. I want to work for Activision or something like that."
I mean, going even further back, I mean, when LeBron's a child, right? I just love how the very opening sequences, his mom is a single mother working 2 jobs who can't be there for him.
Yeah.
Oh, poor, like that's how it starts. And then he's playing, of all the things that he cares about, the Looney Tunes, it doesn't show him watching the show, it doesn't show him anything. No, it's from a video game, a shitty
fucking Crazy Castle. Fucking Crazy Castle.
Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle.
I can't believe that. I actually forgot that happened until just now.
They could have established, that he was a big Looney Tunes fan as a kid. Oh, LeBron, stop watching Looney Tunes. You're going to be late for practice. Okay, Mom, I'm sorry.
That actually would have been better.
That would have been more believable.
Because, I mean, if you're just playing a game, does that really show that, like, oh, you're a big fan? Maybe he just got the game just cuz. You know what I mean?
And, yeah, and wasn't he given the Game Boy by somebody? It wasn't even his?
Yeah, it wasn't even
So it wasn't even his game. So he had played it once. And then the Game Boy got given back to the guy. He never even... So he didn't even have the game. That wasn't even his.
No, wait, I thought he threw the Game Boy in the garbage, though. Like, what kid would do that? What kid would throw a Game Boy in the garbage?
Like, come on, man. That's a $90 Game Boy that you're throwing away, man.
Yeah, really.
Your mom's working 2 jobs, you're gonna throw away the Game Boy, bro.
That's just so... yeah, way to establish your main character.
Did they even do that in the original? I mean, it was just... LeBron was just... No, not LeBron. Michael Jordan was just, like, balling, and he was just like, I want to play for North Carolina.
Yeah.
But he didn't really establish that he was like a Looney Tunes fan.
They just.
I mean,
they
I
just
guess
throw him in
when he
there.
puts the Looney Tunes cartoons on the TV for his kids, like later in that movie,
That's
but
basically about it.
Well, here's the thing too: is that back then you didn't have to establish that somebody was a Looney Tunes fan or knew what the Looney Tunes were, because everybody knew what the Looney Tunes were.
that's true.
Nah.
That is true.
And that's not the case anymore, you know? Now, Looney Tunes are sort of a bygone era of animation. It'd be
Sure,
like...
maybe you recognize the characters, but kids don't really watch like the old cartoons, like the Tex Avery or the I forgot the other designer cartoons.
Well, it's like, if you had, like... What's, like, some stupid Hanna-Barbera bullshit cereal? I don't know. So if you had, like... I'd say, like, Harvey
Like Fruity
Birdman, but
Pebbles.
that wouldn't really work. Yeah, exactly. It's like, they wouldn't know what that is, so you need to establish that they know what it is, because it doesn't have the sort of, cultural impact it once did.
It's kind of a shame that they fell out of, like, public consciousness, because, like, I grew up with, like, all that stuff, like, even, watching it on TV or having the DVDs or VHS tapes, and it's like, I get that it's been... I think they have, like, a really hard time, like, reestablishing the whole importance of them, I suppose, through, like, newer, like, outlets of media. Like, they were, like, really late to do that with their streaming services and stuff, and now it's like everybody's just moved on. I think that the perfect way that they could have done it is if they put it up on a site like in the early 2010s when like a lot of like younger kids were starting to first get on the internet just to watch YouTube videos and stuff. That way that they could have been more easily familiar with them. Now it's more like a niche market again to like, see those characters and like, understand their significance to like pop culture in general.
Or maybe because those like compilations that are like, cartoon, like classic cartoons, like compilations for like 3 hours.
Right, yeah, those are
They
like...
could've, I don't know, maybe did that in the early 2010s, maybe posting like, I don't know, snippets of their old cartoons or something, get kids interested, but I don't think they ever...
Yeah, because those 3-hour compilations that you're talking about, like the weird thing is that those are largely like public domain shorts and stuff because, you can't copyright them. But I think a lot of kids would probably want to see...
Also, like, they're really, like, zoomed in and the audio's really bad.
Yeah. God. Like, the worst is when they stretch the video, like, if it's, like, a full screen and they stretch it to widescreen. That shit drives me nuts. Yeah, it's... Oh, God. I'm a big aspect ratio nitpicker type person. If I want to see the original the way that it was presented, I'm going to do that.
What happens also in the movie is basically just, LeBron and the kid, they go to Warner Brothers and they see this thing and, they meet this, algorithm guy played by Don Cheadle, which he was pretty bad.
They butchered his name too, like LG Rhythm.
Yeah. I was actually talking about this with Cream Man when we were watching it. It was like, it would make sense if like the middle name was like G, like Guh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when you say it'll be like algorithm, but it's just algae rhythm, like algae.
What is that about, man?
I don't know. It's such a weird choice, and also it's not even like a type of name that's even hip anymore. That's just like something that you would use in like late 90s or something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, like, I guess they were 25 years late to something else in that regard.
Well, I mean, they even had the rap battle, like...
Yeah. And they, of course, they had to make the, that Super Hot Fire reference. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's the one with all the, that's in all the memes.
You'll have to fill me in.
It's basically like when Tweety is like doing that, or like passing in front of the camera.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, I just didn't know it by name. It's just immortalized through like that one guy going like he's basically doing the scream face and just like lunging forward into the camera. Yeah, I feel as though that like rap scene was specifically tailor-made for people to like recognize the Looney Tunes through like all that like really like gangster merchandise and stuff that you see, like all that bootleg stuff that you see, like, you know, Taz in like a backwards cap and like gold chains and shit.
Even like my family, when they were growing up in El Salvador, they had some of those shirts. I mean, those shirts were widespread, even in different countries, not just the U.S.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was like mainly
Yeah,
an
no,
American
they were
market.
everywhere in El Salvador. I'm sure they're probably still around. Probably hovering out, probably hiding out in some mercado or something.
They're in a warehouse, and you know, people have to break into them to find like the last remaining like friggin' like gangster Looney Tunes shirt in existence.
Gangster Looney Tunes, yeah. I'd like to buy some. Probably at the thrift shop or something.
You know, I think they had a missed opportunity. They didn't focus enough actually in that regard on Taz, because a lot of like younger people seem to like think Taz is the coolest Looney Tunes character because he shows up on like all that merchandise, and they never really give him a spotlight at like that big in this movie, even though like he only appeared in like 3 classic shorts, and meanwhile like Bugs has like 100 plus. It's weird.
Yeah. Actually, since we were on the villain, I wanted to kind of compare it, because this was what I was thinking, you know, while watching the first and then the second one. It's that, you know, what the concept of, you know, of Space Jam of the beginning is simple. It's just, you know, these aliens, you know, they want a new attraction for their planet, which sucks ass. So they try to get the Looney Tunes, basically. So and their motivations, they're pretty clear, you know? It's just like, we're gonna get the Looney Tunes because it's gonna make us a lot of money, basically.
Right. Yeah, they want to
It's
enslave them and shit.
And like in the, you know, the character, you know, the motivation, it's just simple. That, I mean, you don't really need anything, you know, that complex for that kind of thing. But in the second movie, it's like Don Cheadle, he's like this creator of everything in Warner Brothers, probably to the beginning, probably from the 1930s or something. And he was like, I want to get the recognition that I deserve, and what will make me that kind of power? Oh, collaborating with LeBron James. Oh, that's gonna be nice. So I'm gonna use this really convoluted plot to get LeBron and his son into the Warner Brothers thing. And
well, no, because he didn't even want power. What he wanted was his fame. He just wanted to be as well known as LeBron James. That was it. That's all he wanted from him.
I mean, LeBron James now really isn't that like popular nowadays. He's kind of more of like a polarizing figure ever since, you know, the stuff. Yeah, actually, since the 2016 election happened. But his motivation, you know, the aliens wanted all this stuff. They wanted like attractions. He wanted to be more famous because he felt like he had been screwed over by you know, that he didn't have the recognition he deserved. System.
Yeah. So, you know, they could have done something with that. They could have been like,
it would have been funnier if if he had like kind of delusions of grandeur, like, oh, I'm gonna conquer the world of entertainment or something like that. It was just like, oh, but I just want the recognition that I deserve.
It's so lame.
I mean,
he's not even in the wrong.
That recognition that he does deserve, because I mean, he's the head guy who creates all the stuff for the Warner Brothers. Isn't that already kind of like the big?
Well, the Warner Brothers don't talk about him though in public, I guess. Like they take credit for him, I guess, is the story. And then, like, he's like an asshole because then he takes the kids like program and like uses it. So he can't even create this program. Like, he's like the mastermind coder.
No, exactly. He's like the mastermind. He's so smart. He's created all this amazing stuff for the Warner Brothers, but he doesn't even know the code, so he has to steal it from this, like, 12-year-old kid.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. You know what doesn't make any sense now either because of this whole plot? The title. There's no Space Jam in Space Jam.
That's actually what me and Cream Man were saying, that, it's simple, jamming out, balling with aliens from space with the Looney Tunes, but now it's just like, what do we call it, like Cyber Jam?
That actually would have been a more fitting title, though, because, like, there's no aliens. There's no like alien villains. The aliens from the first movie have like a very awkward cameo somewhere in there, like twice actually.
Just reused animation.
They copy and pasted the animation from the first movie.
It's like they found the animation cells from the original, like in their vault or something. It was like, hey, these stupid millennials will, they'll remember these little aliens. Let's just put them in here last minute.
And it doesn't make any sense because all the other characters aren't like 2D animated by that point. Everybody's like 3D, like CGI.
And why are they 3D CGI? Like, what does that gain?
Nothing.
How
marketing appeal.
How does that relate?
I guess marketing, because it looks nice on the eyes, I guess.
But when he said, okay, I'm gonna upgrade you now. In what sense? How was he upgrading them? Was he making them better at the game? Make them look better? Is that what he was doing?
I mean, if that's the case, then mission failed.
I mean, that's not really like a hindrance, Like in the context of the movie, it's like, oh, I'm gonna make the Looney Tunes look different, and that's gonna hurt them, ha 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 ha. But I mean, is that really like a hindrance? I mean, it would be an interesting dynamic if they were like kind of limited because like they can't be like completely loony.
Yeah, they'd be more realistic. That'd be interesting, I guess.
That'd be interesting, but they don't. I mean, they're just, I guess, just loony. It's not really like a hindrance. It's just something because I guess the producers wanted. Oh, I want the characters to look 3D because it's gonna look nice to the family.
Are you telling me they just set up with no payoff? What are you talking about? In the new Space Shoot, a setup with no payoff? What do you mean? Like, you think the mother at the beginning of the movie who worked like fucking 3 jobs to support LeBron James just never shows up again? There's no resolution with that. There's they could have had her said like living with them and like, oh yeah, mom, oh thank you so much for whatever, blah blah blah. No, it doesn't show up. It's just for that one moment to establish that he's poor. That's it. Mother in like a hairnet or whatever means he's poor. It's just like there's no
play basketball.
It's just like there's nothing. It's like they
like
give you info.
Almost like a stereotype if you really think about it.
They're giving you like stupid these stupid. I don't even know how to phrase it. They're just like little tidbits of like information that you need to extrapolate from, that they could later like go on from, but they do nothing. Like him being a coder, the kid being a coder, does not come up at all, really. Like, it doesn't really ever factor in. Oh, I made this game. I know the cheat codes. Oh, I knew this one trick. Like, it's the glitch that his father found.
You would have think that I guess LG would have spotted that, Or, I don't know, he mentioned it to him in the movie, so it's like, did he just forget about it?
Also, the buffering part, when he's buffering at the very beginning, I thought that would pay off. That didn't pay off at all. He never had to buffer again. Like, what was that for?
I don't know. They were just like, oh, we gotta remind the audience that they're in the 3D world. No, they're in the cyber world, so they'll get the buffering. They hate when their favorite videos on YouTube buffer.
Well, this to take from the movie I was talking about before, the Digimon 2000 movie, right? There's the villain is in the computer world. So what they do to slow it down because it's too quick is they have all the kids all around the world to send it emails to slow it down so they can catch it. And it's like clever, like the buffering slows it down so they can beat it. They can use the fact that it's in the digital world to their advantage to win the game, to beat the, but no, that's too clever.
That actually reminds me, there was like an episode of a regular show, because I've been rewatching that show. It's still a really good show after all these years. But there was like an episode where they I forgot the episode name, but it's basically like they get the computer turns alive, and the way to defeat it's like, okay, the way to defeat it is to make it slow, and you have to open all these programs, and so we're able to defeat it. Like that's actually what it kind of reminded me of. But I don't know, it's confusing. Like the motivations of the villain is just like, oh, I want the fame and recognition that I deserve. Well, is he gonna like? And with like, what's he gonna do with LeBron? I kind of assumed that he was just gonna put him to slavery or something, or is he just gonna be just stuck in this abyss, just making shitty movies?
Did he plan on leaving? He never established that he would leave.
I mean, I assumed that he would be stuck in there forever, just making shitty Batman movies for LG Rhythm.
No, but I mean, did LG Rhythm think he was going to, like, his plan wasn't to leave, like, to leave the virtual world or whatever. He didn't want to leave it. Like, he wasn't going to take over LeBron James's body.
That would have been more interesting, actually, if it was
And, like, he went into the real world as LeBron James.
and, like, sabotage everything that LeBron had or something. That actually would have been interesting, but it's just like, oh, but you're just gonna stay here with me, and sometimes you're gonna make some shitty movies, and...
Oh, we're gonna have a basketball game, so people will watch it and then know who I am.
Actually, that brings up another thing, like, with the stakes of the movie. Why would LeBron ever even want to go back? Like... All that would happen is that he would be, like, in this, like, world where, like, all these characters are, like, real and shit, you know, and, like, there's, like, King Kong and the Iron Giant and, like the Animaniacs are somewhere in the background there, and it's like, oh, I'd never have to work again, I can just, like, you know, chill out with, like, all these wacky, like, characters and shit. It's just like, why would you ever want to go back? It doesn't even make any sense.
And also, it's like, I mean, the Looney Tunes have no reason to kind of play. I mean, I mean, it says later in the movie that, oh, you're gonna be deleted, but I mean, they have no reason to. It's just Lola kind of saying, hey, we're doing this for the sun.
The only people with motivations were Lola, who was doing it because, the sun, and Bugs, who was doing it to get them back together.
Even though, like, there was this one scene with Marvin which kind of proves that he could have done it at, like, any point he wanted to, but just waited for LeBron to show up for some reason.
I don't know. It's so weird. It's just so weird.
Can I...
Now we're actually getting into that. Let's actually... Wait, go ahead.
I wanted to talk about like, the way that the movie, like, looked. Not in terms of, like, the animation or anything, but just, like, the way that, like, the production value kind of came across. But if you wanted to, like, talk about something else first, you can. Okay, so... something else that really bugged me about this movie is that I've been, like, on a kick of, like, watching... just other stuff with my other friend. Like we're both aspiring to be, you know, like, bigger filmmakers down the line, like, to, like, you know, like, create our own content and, you know, just, like, get our word out as to, like, you know, have some form of success with our media. And something that's been really bugging me about, like, big budget movies lately is how fucking fake they look. Like, even when in the beginning of the movie, when they're on a basketball court, like LeBron is with his two sons or whatever, the basketball court looks like it's shot on a green screen. They couldn't even, like, rent out a real basketball court, like, somewhere in California. Or
just film that LeBron's home, which probably does have a basketball court.
Or yeah, something like that. And, like, you can tell that they're on a set. They're not even out there, like, in the real world. It just feels so artificial. Like, I just got done watching, like, you know, like a movie. This is a very different type of movie from, like, Space Jam, but, like, hear me out. I just watched Blue Velvet, like, a David Lynch movie recently. Great.
That's a little different.
No, yeah, really, but, like, it's a great fucking movie, right? That, like, was shot on a budget of, like, $6 million something or whatever, and yet that, like, has, like, much more of a real, like, grounded look to me, like, just in terms of the sets, like, not in terms of, like, the context of what they're shooting, but the sets and stuff look a lot better than what you would expect from, like, a $90 million movie today. Like, this, I get it, this is a really big post-production type of movie, but you couldn't even rent out a fucking basketball court for, like, you know, your budget? Like, are you serious? Like, that just
Nah, man,
bothers
all the
me.
budget, it all went into the 3D CG animation of the Looney Tunes. It happened for no reason.
God, yeah. It's just, like, it's just the blocking of it, too. Like, the blocking of the characters, they don't even look like they're really interacting with each other. Like, they're all shot separately for some reason. And it just, it doesn't feel human. It doesn't feel real. It really bothers me. Especially, like, just learning about all of this stuff and just pointing out key little things as to, like, how you should make a movie. And this is, like, the opposite of how you should make a movie. It's just, it really gets under my skin.
I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker by any means, but wouldn't it kind of just be cheaper to kind of just make some of these scenes in an actual like basketball court or something?
It would. You figured it would, but I mean, I'm not sure what the motivation behind it would be. I just know that the execution is just really off-putting, and the human eye can like really detect like uncanniness like really easily. That I don't think a lot of.
Speaking of uncanny,
oh boy.
When Don Cheadle turned into that basketball player, that actually looks worse than
Oh,
Rock and the Mummy.
No, like it looks worse than the Scorpion King, dude. That's what it reminded me of.
Speaking of bad, have you guys seen that people are taking the heads off of the LeBron James action figures and selling them on eBay
No,
for like
what?
thousands of dollars?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's real. People were going to like Walmart to like the Space Jam figures and like popping the heads off of the LeBron James and selling them on eBay.
What? Why?
There's some of them going for like thousands of dollars because they look awful and it's like the worst ones get the most bids. They're like poorly printed.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, this is real.
Of course it ends up on Mercari though. The way the action figure looks without like the head reminds me of the Goombas from the Super Mario Brothers movie, like those really tiny heads with the big bodies.
Yeah, why did they design his character like the figures like that?
I don't
It's so
know,
bizarre,
man. They couldn't get like a better. They just couldn't get a better like producer.
Also,
for those figures.
getting a figure of LeBron James, that's doing wonders for the what is it? The glass jar community.
Oh.
Have you seen the glass jar with Joe Biden in it?
No, I haven't.
I recommend people just do not just look at that account on Twitter.
Do not look it up.
Horrible.
Do not.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, just stay ignorant. It's gonna be all good.
It's just nothing to see here. Just carry on with your day.
Yeah. It's so terrible. I imagine somebody's just gonna steal one of these figures and just put them in a jar.
Oh god, you gotta have a really big jar for that friggin' like that figure though. Like look at how tall he is.
Man, like the Space Jam this just made me look at the outfits and like they're so boring. Like they're like outfit designs. Like they could do so much with like a Looney Tune theme, like, basketball uniform.
They just have like the one concentric circle and that's it.
It's just so uninspired. I don't understand. Like there was no heart in this movie at all. There's no heart in any of it.
The movie that's like a blatant advertisement has more heart than the sequel somehow.
You ever watch like the old like He-Man or like Transformers? Like those were just advertisements. Like those were purely.
They try to do something with it. At least the art looked nice.
Yeah, they did. They put a lot of effort into the art. They had like the Transformers movie. Famously, Optimus Prime died.
Oh, I love that.
There was real drama. There's like real drama. There's like real whatever. The kids movies now, like I was watching this movie, there was like a sequence where there was like a cut every like 2 seconds. It's like cut. And it was like giving me like a headache watching the movie. Like they think that kids don't have the attention span for like sitting on a shot for more than 3 seconds.
That really bothered me. How
can a movie feel so frantically paced and so slow and boring at the same time?
Actually, that reminds me. This reminds me of the Austin Powers thing that we brought up. Like, did you remember like the way that it was sequenced?
It's such a schizophrenic scene, man. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, that part in particular, like really like gets you.
One of the the clip of that it went viral on Twitter and people were just saying like, what the fuck is going on? It's just like I actually didn't realize this until I saw that clip. But the editing in that scene is just, it's so bizarre, man. It's just like, I'll probably leave a link in the description if anybody wants to see it, but man, it's so, it's like, one second, they're in the ship or whatever, and then the other second they're doing some stupid Austin Powers thing, and then they're doing what else did they do?
Didn't they go
Casablanca? They did a Casablanca one.
Oh, I wanted to forget about that.
So didn't they already do like a Casablanca parody already with the Looney Tunes?
They did Carrot Blanca that one time in the 90s. It was like a short that they did. That's the short where you see like people all the time having like icons of like depressed Bugs Bunny. He's drinking carrot juice and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like drunk Bugs Bunny. There's also the whole joke is that, you know, it's in Casablanca and they get Sam back because the character that plays the piano in the movie his name is Sam, and it's like, okay. And then you have like doctored footage from Mad Max Fury Road. And it's like, what is going on?
That was actually pretty clever. Actually, kind of.
I like that because it was so out there. Like, at least it was like different.
I suppose. Yeah.
It was different. It was something that I didn't expect.
I think they were originally gonna have a different character for that scene, but they gave it to those two instead, which I think probably fit better anyway. I think the way that like I know this is because one of my friends read they had a comic adaptation of the movie before the movie came out, and there's a lot of stuff that's different in the comic compared to the way that the final movie turns out. So I'm assuming
What, of Space Jam or of Mad Max?
Space Jam. The way that the final movie turns out is a lot different from the comic. So I'm assuming the comic is basically the earliest version of the movie that was, like, you know, put out there in a way. It's very bizarre. But let me tell you this much: the editing team for this movie certainly did not consist of Paul Hirsch, Marsha Lucas, and Richard Chew. I'll just put it that way.
I don't know. I actually didn't realize this when I first watched the movie, but then I watched that scene on that same scene on Twitter. I was like, did I really stomach through this entire scene? Like, the editing is atrocious.
It's just, I can't even believe that like this passed for like a major, like a big budget production to be released like on the big screen.
I have another question. So how does Casablanca work in the I guess the Warner Brothers serververse? Because I mean, I've never watched Casablanca, but I believe it's based off the Vichy France occupation of Northern Africa during the Second World War.
That's correct.
And so, kind of like, what do they relive it? Does it kind of go on loop or what?
I don't even understand, because it's just kind of like, okay, like Mad Max makes sense because that whole universe is just the apocalypse, but Casablanca, the problem with it is that it's just a self-contained movie based on like completely real events. So it's just like, it's almost as if, yeah, like you can imagine that they just have the events of the movie just completely looped over and over again in order to get to the part where, like, Yosemite Sam is just there and they have to get him back. It would
have been funny if a character was like Hitler and like one of them or something.
Well, given
that would, I know that would have been too testy.
It's Looney Tunes, you know. They've certainly had their share of Hitler cameos in the past. So
it would have been funny if I don't know if this happens in the movie, but in Casablanca, but I don't know, having a scene where they fight with, I guess, Vichy France or like German soldiers in North Africa or something. That would have been funnier, actually.
They didn't take any risks at all. They didn't take any risks. Like, the thing about Austin Powers, like, if they could have done the Austin Powers thing, they could have actually had something going on. They did this whole thing about, you know, having all these other characters and different properties. They could have switched it up a little bit and had it like, because it's like the game is like an hour long. They could have used another character from another universe. Like, what harm would it have been if they had like Jim Carrey, The Mask, play?
Or like, I don't know, like a Hanna-Barbera character or something.
Yeah, like,
I mean, Hanna-Barbera characters, they were literally in the audience. I mean, you had like Space Ghost and like the Flintstones and I saw for some reason Peter Potamus was there.
They reused the models from Scoob, and that by itself is funny because it's like it's like they're just way far out in the background, but they're there. It's the same models. They also had a few leftover models that they didn't use in Scoob. I think Jabberjaw might be one of them, but I don't remember.
I just kept looking at Jabberjaw throughout the entire match.
It's like once they get to the game, the best part of the movie is just basically playing I Spy to like see like which characters made it in the background somehow. Like, you know, like Alex and his goons from the Clockwork Orange, and like, you know.
Oh yeah, one of the most bizarre ones was Magilla Gorilla. I just kept seeing him.
Yeah, they really wanted to push him for some reason out there. They had, you know, I mean,
do kids even know who Magilla Gorilla is? Let alone Peter Potamus.
The only way I can bet any kid knows is if they watch those
Cartoon Network Groovies.
Yeah, exactly. The Groovies that you'd
Gorilla
see.
for Sale.
Yeah, Gorilla for Sale. That's the only way I can imagine.
Oh, that's such a good song.
Yeah,
that's such a good song.
They also I like the Jabberjaw song that they had for
that one
Groovies.
got old. They play that all the time. It got old for me.
Yeah, I mean they played it too much, but I like that one and the Josie and the Pussycats.
I mean, it's the same
one.
with all these other ones. I get that, you know, they kind of just got these hand-me-downs, but it's like, come on, at least just commission some more.
Yeah.
I remember, like, hold on, let me get to something, because like I used to watch Boomerang a lot, like when I was a kid. I think I got Boomerang in like 2008, and then I stopped when I got rid of my cable in like 2015 or something. And you know, it was nice, you know, watching like, I don't know, Powerpuff Girls and like Teen Titans at night. But it was like, yeah, I got to watch the same songs. The Jabberjaw one, the Josie the Pussycats one. There was the, what else was there? Oh, the Yogi Bear one. The Adam Ant one, which actually, I was looking that up, and actually somebody, the studio, released their assets, because I believe that the contract ended, and now somebody has remastered it to 4K, which is...
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. I'll actually link it to you. It actually looks nice.
Okay, yeah, please. I want to see that.
Because I was just looking, I think it was like earlier this year, I was like looking up like, you know, these old groovies, and I was like, hey, I believe that they released the assets for anybody to use, because I believe that the contract with Cartoon Network expired after like 20 years or something. So like I think somebody was able to piece together those assets, and they were able to upscale it to 4K.
That's super cool. One thing I'll say before we get back to the movie, my favorite memory, I guess just like an anecdote, my favorite memories of watching Boomerang were always like the stuff that they would actually air late at night, because during the entire day they would have like all the older Hanna-Barbera shows, like between like 08, 07, 09, like that's when I watched a lot in particular. But then when it got like a little bit later at night, they'd have like some more obscure stuff. Like they'd air like, you know, 30s cartoons and stuff from like the MGM vault.
At one point they played like Thundar the Barbarian. That was so weird.
Yeah, they had like those Boomer action blocks and stuff. Like they had Thundar. They had SWAT Cats was actually my jam. I really liked that show.
Yeah.
I think they did air the Cartoon Network originals a little bit later on, though. Like I think after Powerpuff Girls turned 10, that's when they basically started to air all of those older shows.
They
like
kept
really
playing
late at
that
night.
same commercial over and over.
Oh
and
yeah,
over
yeah,
and over again.
yeah. The city of Townsville is now on Boomerang.
After 10 years, it was like, you know, they were playing that in like 2013. It was like, yeah, I don't know. It's been like what, 5 years since 2008. I think you should probably retire that commercial.
Yeah. That's we get it. It's like the Shirley Temple commercial. You see it so many times. It's like, okay.
Oh, the Shirley Temple commercial, man. Oh, you're bringing back so many bad memories. Have you ever seen the FarmersOnly.com commercial?
Oh god, that one.
Let's just talk about commercials that we just really hate, that we just keep seeing all the time.
What? Okay.
Zoo Pals. I remember Zoo Pals.
Zoo Pals is based.
Zoo Pals. I think
Zoo Books.
Oh, the Zoo Books one's funny though, cause like they would re-edit that commercial like every few years, but basically have the same footage and everything, like, and with the same narrator too.
My favorite part about that commercial was that kid is like reading the book, and he's got the monkey in there. And as a kid, I was like, "What the fuck? I want a monkey.
Yeah,
I want a monkey to chill with me. What the fuck?
I want the tiger poster still."
You know what the worst one was, and no one talks about anymore, was Head On. It was like Head On
Oh
applied directly to the forehead.
that one.
Head On applied directly to the forehead.
The shake weight one.
They played a lot of those on Cartoon Network for some reason. Like, I remember watching like 06, 07, they would always play these ones.
Yeah.
Oh, the Gerber Life commercial.
Yeah.
Man, I used to be able to recite this one. Attention parents and grandparents of young children. Gerber Life is accepting applications for their affordable Grow Up Plan. The Grow Up Plan gives your child $10,000 in whole life insurance protection now, then doubles automatically to $20,000 later at no extra cost. Free information will be sent to parents and grandparents who call now. Help give your child a head start for just pennies a day. Don't wait, call now for free information.
Just pennies a day.
Let's step back for a second here. Yeah. Think about this. We're so fucking bored of Space Jam, we're talking about Gerber Life commercials.
God,
this movie sucks ass.
I don't even know how we got to it.
We're subconsciously avoiding talking about it. It's awful.
Speaking of boring, the climax is 45 minutes long, and it's like just so tiring that I don't even want to even talk about that anymore.
It's kind of terrible, really. So should we talk about the ending?
Oh, you know what? I have some stuff to say about the ending, but you go first.
All right,
go first.
So spoilers if anyone really cares about that. So at the end of the movie, towards the end of the game, when the character's like, "Oh man, we're gonna lose because we only have like a 2-point lead." We have like a 2-point loss, I guess. And so they bring up like the step back glitch was basically like this dumb glitch that Dom never programmed out of programmed in the game. So it made the game glitch and crash or whatever. And so they got reminded, it was like, "Oh, who's gonna play the step back glitch because the character is gonna get deleted." And LeBron's like, "I'm gonna play the step back glitch." And he's like, "Why, you can't do that, you're gonna die." And it was like, oh, when it happens, it's Bugs' turn. So when he does the step back glitch, he gets all glitchy, and everyone else gets all glitchy. And in the game, for context, the step back glitch is basically like this move that LeBron does, and the kid Dom, he does that move in the beginning in his stupid game or whatever, and it crashes his game. So it's like you kind of assume, like, obviously it glitches out, but you would assume that it would kind of just crash out like all together, Like I don't even think that in like a real crash, it wouldn't, in that kind of context, you would be able to even go forward, because the game would just bug out that badly. It would just crash.
Don't you know, it didn't crash the game, the glitch, it deleted his character that did the glitch for whatever reason. Oh, that's
right. Yeah, you're right.
So somehow this glitch erases game data for the character in the game. Like, damn, bro, you fucking suck at programming. Like, I don't know how the fuck that happens, bro. That's messed up.
Delete a character? I mean, I'm incredibly amateur when it comes to coding, but it's like, how does it delete a character?
The mechanism for that, I don't even know. I guess it would have to corrupt the data in the game files.
It would corrupt the file, but it wouldn't delete it.
Well, it looks like they get corrupted until they can't be read, it looks like.
I guess so. But I want to talk about, so Bugs does the step back glitch, and he gets all glitchy, and, they win the game, haha, rah-rah, whatever. And then, and then Bugs dies. Do you guys want to talk about how Bugs dies?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking do this. So, does the step back glitch, doesn't he? Like he throws the fucking ball and it starts to glitch the fuck out, right? And so then the whole thing goes into like super slow-mo, which doesn't make any sense for like the timing and stuff that they try to pull off.
I mean, it would still be going in like regular speed, except it would just be so glitchy and you would have all these error messages.
Yeah, exactly. So and LeBron is going for the extra push with the ball or whatever, and he's not going to make it. Don Cheadle, whatever, like CG Cheadle is like friggin' like trying to block him and stuff, and he's not going to make it.
CG Cheadle, light skin.
And who throws the thing towards LeBron? The kid. Yeah, his son throws this double jump thing, and Don Cheadle's like, that's cheating! And then LeBron like gets the ball in, extra point to win the game, game over.
You would think it would be much higher points. Like, it was only like a 2-pointer.
Yeah, it's only 2 points. It's just barely.
Even though he uses a lot of those. No, he uses 2 of those stupid launch pads.
Yeah. Like he uses.
It's the style points in this movie are so stupid. They either work with it or they don't work with it. It's so bizarre what they do with this.
So because Bugs is the one to do the jump back glitch though for the game, he fucking dies, right? And the way that they treat it though is so stupid that like, okay, they have this moment where like all the characters like Lola, like all these other all the other Looney Tunes are surrounding him, and they're just like, Bugs, and then you're
gonna die.
The last line Bugs says before he just disintegrates into like fucking Thanos dust
a giant
shit.
Star.
Yeah,
he disintegrates into like an Evangelion shot.
Like a Evangelion or like Spike Spiegel like type shit.
Yeah, and he's his last line, I shit you not, is "That's all, folks," and then he dies.
And then but he comes back.
Yeah,
and he wants to pester LeBron.
Yeah, he comes back in the real world this time, and then like LeBron's like, how are you still alive? And then
aren't you supposed to be fucking dead?
Are you supposed to be dead? And then like Bugs is like, I'm a toon, I can't die, and it's just like, yeah, what? Yeah, really, way to throw that in there at the last minute. So think about this. The last scene of the movie with like all of the other Looney Tunes characters on screen is just mourning Bugs' death, and they never cut back to that.
Yeah. And what was the point of that? He turns into a star, and there's like a giant like silhouette of Bugs like after he turns into that star. It's like, what the heck?
I bet you what
it's
happens
like
if
they
they wanted
to make their own like Evangelion moment, but it's so fucking bizarre.
I think they wanted whoever was in charge. I think wanted to kill him off. I think that's my like headcanon.
But how the fuck do you kill off Bugs Bunny?
They wanted to kill him off, and the studio said, "No, you can't fucking kill off Bugs Bunny. Are you fucking crazy?" Man. Oh, I wanna bring up the note that I thought was that me and Bruce, when we were watching, we talked about the E3 camp.
Oh.
And we're like, what the hell is like the E3 camp? Like, this doesn't exist. This isn't real. And I looked it up afterwards, and I found it's a real thing. The E3 camp is a real thing. E3 is empowering excellence through THRU exploration. I'll post the link in the Discord.
What?
Yeah, it's a real thing. This is real. It's a black Christian STEM organization.
Huh?
Yeah. I'll read this. Students will be exposed to the work of black scientists, inventors, and artists through hands-on experiences of aerodynamics, coding, electricity, engineering, design, forensic, math, music, poetry, spoken word, solar and wind power, and videography that engage curiosity, observation, and imagination. It's a black-only, like, STEM program for middle schoolers. This is, like, a real thing. This is real. Yeah.
So, its logo is literally like a Nintendo 64 logo. What the heck?
Here's, like, their mission statement. I'll just read the beginning of it. Dear friends, only 8% of African Americans make up the science, technology, engineering, and math workforce. And then E3 was established in order to introduce students of color to hands-on experimental activities, art skills, and STEM field trips. So it's like a specifically for black people. It's weird. Like, why would they pick this of all things? Why would they, like... There's no way they didn't figure this out when they were looking it up. And, like, the kid's the right age for it. Like, this is what they're referring to.
Also, E3 Design Camp, are they... I mean, they're not even, like, they don't even own E3. I think E3 is owned by Disney, right?
Is it?
I believe so.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be able to refer to E3.
Yeah. It's just called E3 because the kids know what that is. Oh, it's where all the video game, the pew pew pew. That's where they make those games.
So they probably are referring to this to avoid getting in any sort of legal trouble for using the name E3.
Yeah, because I could be wrong, but I swear that E3 is literally owned by Disney. Because I believe that they used to be owned by these, like, I call them the Libtard brothers, but I forgot their names. The Green brothers. I just call them the Libtard brothers. I think they sold it to Disney or whatever, and now they're making bank off of it.
Oh, well. You know, they went the George Lucas route then.
I just don't understand, like, the movie. Like, I don't understand what they were trying to get at. Like, I don't understand what's the lesson of the movie, too? Like, what's, like, the...
It's like... yourself?
Be yourself. But, like, LeBron, he wins by not being himself. He acts more toonish, like Looney.
So technically he's not being himself. He's got to force himself to be Looney.
So, it's like the main... Is LeBron not supposed to be the main character? Is the kid supposed to be the main character?
I believe LeBron's supposed to be the protagonist.
But it's like the kid is the only one with an arc, right? Like, Michael Jordan has an arc. Michael Jordan doesn't give a shit about the Looney Tunes at first. And he has to learn to care about them, you know? What's LeBron's arc?
LeBron literally he's like a very.
I guess his arc
character.
is just I gotta make sure I can't be stingy with my son.
I can't be a shithead to my son anymore. I guess everything else is the same though. I literally kept having like intrusive thoughts about LeBron James beating his son whenever they were together in the scene. Like, for whatever reason, like, that's what my mind gravitated towards. Like, he's gonna fucking punch the kid right in the face. That's all I could think about.
Oh my gosh. So are you guys ready to answer some questions? Whatever questions that we have?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, somebody, this guy's name is Pajama Sam. Oh, it's Inkwell.
Yeah, it's Jeremy.
Yeah. He asked, why isn't Lola Bunny's ass fat anymore? Yeah, I wonder why they did that. You know what? Here's what I kind of respect. So they took away Pepe Le Pew from this movie because he was apparently a sexist stereotype against French people. I guess they just hate French people. I guess they just really hate gay Paris. But you know what? I do appreciate that they kept Speedy Gonzalez in the movie because they could have easily just taken him away because he's a Hispanic stereotype, but I actually appreciate that they kept him in this movie because I actually really like the Speedy Gonzalez cartoon.
Speedy Gonzalez is fucking awesome.
I know that people in Mexico fucking love Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not from Mexico, but I mean Mexican adjacent country, I guess.
As soon as I saw Speedy Gonzalez, I was afraid there was gonna be like a Trump joke or something because of him. I
actually didn't think they would actually do that. Actually.
No, I don't know. I don't know if they would go like that far with it, but you know, anything can happen.
I mean, the most that they go with is that he speaks Spanish in some scenes.
I mean, they literally had awesome powers, bro.
I mean, it could be worse. He could literally been saying like, "Ay, Donald Trump is taking away my green card."
But they literally had Austin Powers. Like, what do you... After you see Austin Powers in a Space Jam movie for kids, right?
Yeah.
What are you to expect? Like, what's the tone set for the rest of the movie from that point on?
That's a
good point.
And also Rick and Morty. I mean,
Rick and Morty. Yeah, okay. So what am I supposed to expect? I mean, doesn't Rick and Morty, they like... I watched like the episodes of Rick and Morty every once in a while, like Dora and all of them. They like stream it whenever the new episodes come out, and like it's the most embarrassing shit in the world. Like it's so bad. It's so fucking
Reddit moment.
awful.
Reddit moment.
Like it's the worst shit you'll ever see. But it's like Rick and Morty. Like the show like goes off on a tangent about how like women aren't respected. Like just like in the middle of character conversation.
Oh, actually, did you see that like Dan Harmon like was insulting like the second Space Jam like through like a through a like an Instagram comment like something that Eric Bauza posted on his account, and it's like, your characters are in the movie, dude. Are you serious? Like,
Dan Harmon's a hack. Fuck that guy.
Do you have like any room to talk, you fucking piece of shit? Like, nah. Also, with Pepe, like, I think the thing that's really funny about that is that the actress that was gonna beat him up in that scene was really upset that the scene got that it got cut out, because she really wanted to like sock it to Pepe Le Pew for disrespecting women or something like that. It's just like, I'm kind of glad that they cut that scene out now, because that scene sounds really stupid.
Yeah, fuck Dan Harmon. Those guys are hacks.
Yeah,
also,
forget them.
Who's that other guy? Justin Roiland? Yeah, he's probably a pedophile.
he
all they all are.
Something very weird about his whole aura that I've never really liked.
So, next question that we have. Did you clap when you saw Big Chungus?
I forget if I clapped,
yes,
but
I did.
I think I laughed, though.
I pointed at the screen. I did like the soy face, and I said, "Oh, it's Big Chungus!" And I clapped.
Face, you pointed at it.
I took my fist and slammed down the bottom of my fist on my desk and like knocked my computer over. I like lost my shit, dude. It was crazy.
I thought Big Chungus was a race, like a hate symbol. Why would they put this in this movie?
Bro, Big Chungus making the okay hand sign, drinking milk? Bro,
he's literally like a white power.
You ever wonder why Bugs Bunny has white fur, bro, and not black fur?
No.
Oh, really makes you think, bro. Really makes you think.
Alright, well, other question. So my friend Mint Eve, our good friend Mint Eve, he asked this question: can anyone in the SnoopCast place themselves in this chart? And it's just the 1998 eye chart, just with the eye colors.
Oh, sad. I'm pretty low on that.
Yeah, same. Brownoid moment.
I guess I'm like A30 or something. I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, you're an Aryan. I'm a brownoid.
Bro, I'm T30, bro.
I think I'm like T20 or something. I know that my eyes are really brown.
Bro, I'm the least Aryan of them all. So sad, despite being 100% pure white.
Listen, I might have brown eyes, but at least I have the,
You have a white soul.
a white soul. And also I have, if you guys don't know, there's this Spanish, I guess, mythos that, if you're like a mestizo or whatever, obviously if you're mestizo, you're a mix of Amerindian / Indio and, Spaniard, right? And, if you look at your, if you're like Hispanic, and if you look at your, how your like veins near your arms, like by your palms, and if you see like this blue, apparently that means that you have blue blood, which equates to your part of royalty. I don't know. Let me actually look it up. Apparently that was like some kind of like Hispano mythos or something. It was like blue.
Bro, I have royal blood, bro. I can see my blue veins.
Yeah, same.
Bro.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
royal,
That could be. I mean, like I said, it's just a mythos. But
I mean, I do have royal blood, guys. I'm like 1 millionth people person away from Sir William the Conqueror, bro. So yeah, I'm royal, bro. I got royal blood. I'm part of the British royal family, guys. I hate to tell you.
The Norman elites, epic. I mean, what if? I mean, I literally have no Anglo blood, so what if it was like, my ancestors were literally like, I don't know, Queen Isabel and King shoot, what was his name? No, it wasn't Philip. It was
Bro, your ancestors are Shaka Zulu, bro.
Shaka Zulu.
Shaka Zulu and Genghis Khan, bro. Those are your ancestors, bro.
No, my ancestry is pretty much just Spanish and indigenous. Though I don't even know what my the ethnic group for the Indian, the Indio, I guess it's just the Pipil or the Nahual or whatever it's called. I don't know. It could be worse. I could be from Bolivia.
Sad, bro.
Sad. I could be from Bolivia. That reminds me. There was this clip of these people. I forgot what the context, but it was these people from Peru. They were chanting something outside of a football stadium. And they were like, he should go back to Bolivia. I guess they just really hate Bolivians.
Bro, I just realized we just got off of Space Jam again. We just fucking lost the target again. We cannot stay on Space Jam.
I mean, what is there really much to say about Space Jam? It's just crappy movie. Like I said, it sucks. Probably just if you're gonna forget about it in 6 months. I was saying this with Cream Man. I think it's actually quite true. Is that in the future people are just gonna forget about this movie? Except people are probably gonna make YouTube videos like, "Hey, remember when they remade Space Jam? That was stupid, huh?"
Bro, it sucks. It's homosexual. It sucks dick, bro. It's a cuckold movie.
It's a buck-breaking movie. We should...
It's not in the good way. Not in the good way. It's not a buck-breaking movie in the good way.
By the way, if anybody's listening to this hasn't watched Buck-Breaking, please watch it. I highly encourage it. It was one of the funniest movies in the entire season.
Bro, you're encouraging people to watch gay interracial erotica, bro. What the fuck?
One of the funniest fucking movies I've ever watched. Oh man, it was hilarious. But I guess that's it. I guess we kind of talked everything that we kind of wanted to say about Space Jam.
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
We appreciate everyone for watching this episode of the SnoopCast. Sorry if it's been a while, but all three of us have been pretty busy. But we would highly encourage it if you could go on our shoot, what is it called? It's our Anchor page and give us a review. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Spotify, and if you like listening to those, we really appreciate it. Please give us some reviews because we really appreciate those reviews. But I'm Brucesnoop.
I'm Ian.
I'm Cream Man.
And that's all, folks.
Fuck you.